Hello YouTube and welcome back. I apologize for the delay. I announced a build contest quite a while ago and then my internet had a lot of issues with it. So instead of having a build contest result video go up a week ago, it's going up now. In any case, for those of you new here, welcome. We do these build contests and we have been doing them for over a year at this point. We have 12, 13, maybe 14 something build contests. And I want to shout out the YouTube playlist if you're interested in seeing all the announcement videos and all the results videos as well for every build contest we've done in the past. The important thing to know about this first is that we do suite build contests, and as of recently we've also done damage build contests to see like who can just have the biggest damage, kill bosses in the blink of an eye, and we've gotten some cool results from that as well. So for these build contests, we take something that's new to the game, either a unique item, a new skill, a rework, a class, something, a mastery, a new line of text like cooldown recovery speed finally being an affix added to the game. We take something and we ask people to build around it. So these are the suite builds as a result of that. If you'd like to see a result of every piece of discussion, introduction, and submission that has ever done, that has ever been a part of these build contests, you can always go to my Discord channel or go to my Discord server, scroll down to the archives on the left here, and you'll see the submissions and the discussion for every single build contest that we've done up until this point. The build contest this time around was for the Legends Entwined Primordial Ring. In case you haven't seen this, these are the new primordial items that got added in Season 3. And these are items that are exclusive with Tier 8 affixes. You can only have one primordial in your build. So if you have a primordial unique, you can't have a primordial Tier 8 affix. Something along those lines. So the Legends Entwined, it's neat. It kind of goes along with the previous build contest that we did, which was asking people to build around set affixes because those were new to the game last patch as well. So Legends Entwined says that it counts as a part of every equipped set and allows you to do some pretty wonky stuff. You could have a whole bunch of sets just using it for the bonuses, the +1 all skills per completed set, which is strong. You could also do something like use the Velatria set, which normally requires you to be a mage. You can instead have a staff plus the ring on a sentinel. And all of a sudden you can have an int stacking Velatria sentinel. Not sure why you do that, but you could. And it's very, very cool. There's a lot of moving pieces with an item like this. So I want to pop into our Discord channel and see what is going on here. Hopefully I will not copy you too much because I've had a little bit under the weather, sore throat, but we can do it. We're good. We had some preliminary voting as well. So we're going to be going over 10 builds right now. And let's click through these 10. I already have the voting. There will be no delay at the end of this video because I've asked people to vote a week ago. I know who's going to win. You don't, unless you scroll to the end. YouTube chapters are your friend. Keep that in mind. Let's scroll here. The very first submission here is Welshman's Forge Guard build. So Welshman 8202. This is very first time participating. So kudos for people to getting outside of their comfort zone and trying new stuff. He played a Forge Guard. Cool. He said, this super sweet build utilizes everything on this ring. I made a Forge Strike Slammer with tons of synergistic pieces, utilizing the strength stacking to get multiple pieces of the strength stacking benefits in the Forge Guard tree, health regen, defenses, scaling, crit multi, all those kinds of things. Let's click on the gear and then we'll see what's going on. And then of course, for all these videos, or for all these submissions, we have a video as well. So we want to do gear first, video first. Let's do video first. Let's click on this, make it nice and big. I guess we can make it YouTube as well because YouTube has a little bit better, what do you call it? Frames. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah. I think he has Zizarin playing in the background, so I'm going to mute his audio real quick. So this is the gameplay that he's working with. I see a lot of endurance threshold. So I imagine he's probably making use of the bear set as well. I think the bear set is one of the better designed sets as EHG has added more of these like set related affixes into the game. Like this, the set affixes and the Legends Entwined, the ring that we're working with here. I've seen a lot of people using this and like it's kind of boring, right? Like it's the 3-piece bonus for having the last bear set. It's just 30 strength. But 30 strength is pretty good when it feeds into all these other things, especially just trying to get to 180 attributes for a red ring of Atlaria. So having the endurance threshold bonuses, having the health regeneration bonuses, people work these bonuses in, they get one more piece for the plus 30 strength altogether, and then you can feed those into other sets as well. So I think that's going to be a common thing that we see here. A lot of these sets are a little bit tricky to work into a creative build. I will criticize, or rather give feedback to EHG at this point, if they're going to keep making sets more and more interesting, which honestly, they really are with the set affixes and Legends Entwined rings. These are really cool ideas for how to get, you know, damage or I don't know, creative builds into the game. It'd be nice to have more set items. We haven't had a new set item in a while. These are cool mechanisms. Come on, EHG, give me give me something. So that's what the gameplay looks like. Let's alt tab real quick, and we will take a look at the planner. Let's take a look at the wish list planner. So this is kind of what the person was thinking about. They're playing a Forge Guard. You can see, of course, we have the Sun Forge set. So +3 maximum forge weapons. And they're using that tier 5 affix there for the +6 melee fire damage per forge weapon. So that is neat. I actually love seeing Lucernes in here too. I think Lucernes are so cool. Like this big ass 2-handed mace with +10 melee crit. They're really slow, but man, they hit super hard, don't they? So we have the last bear set as well. Sun Forged here. And then you'll see a handful of people throughout this contest. They'll just slap 1 or 2 set affixes onto their exalted or like their rare gear in order to get +1 skills, in order to get plus all res per completed set or plus attributes per completed set. I'd be unsurprised if we saw some people combining this with a red ring of Atlaria as well, just because those attributes really add up quickly when you're completing all these sets. So that's pretty neat there. Let's take a look at the shield. Yeah, sure enough, they had the Sinathia set, which just, you seal 1 affix, or I guess they have a tier 5 affix for the prefix here, but just adding in a tiny bit of affix there gives you more benefits for the Legends Entwined, +1, all res, all attributes, those stacking bonuses. So that is neat. Let's see, other affixes, Zarek set, Bear set there, sure enough. It'll be interesting, keep in mind during this contest, to see which people are using like sealed tier 1 set affixes and which people are going out of the way to get like a tier 7 affix instead. Like if someone had a health regen focused build, maybe they would have a tier 7 health regen per point of strength instead of this. So that's the very first build, Forge Guard, Forge Strike. Pardon me. Let's scroll down and look at build number 2. This comes from Beardus Maximus. He says, I started the season with the idea of using this ring, and I decided on, quote unquote, the Lance Reforged. So this is a Lance Reforged Beastmaster, is what we'll call the second build here. The idea of the build is to use the relic and the ring to complete the set bonus for the Shattered Lance. Shattered Lance is, what is it, melee damage? Or cold, I think it's cold damage, melee damage per health regen. Let me make sure that I'm not talking about. Increased both. The set bonus is increased cold melee damage per 10 health regen, up to 1500% increased damage. So one of the criticisms or maybe frustrations that you might come across when you're looking at builds like this, or maybe in your own time, is that as the set items have been added to the, as the set affixes and the Legends Entwined set crafting and set build rounds have been added to the game and introduced with more support, instead of adding more support, more set items to the game to make you want to do these and jump through these hoops, instead we've nerfed and put caps on these, like the more interesting ones, the ones like health regen, or maybe even nerfing the Vessel of Strife unique relic that you might be able to pair it with otherwise in order to get like ward per second per your regen. So those things have been like nerfed a little bit, but yeah, you know. So let's keep reading. I digress. This person wanted to use Morditus's Reach as a main weapon. It is a cool, cold-themed spear, and the lance is shattered no more because it's been reforged. Cute. Kind of like it. So they went Beastmaster. They wanted the boar damage reduction and a bit of health regen. The health regen per point of strength that's in the Beastmaster's mastery. I understand what they're doing here. Let's take a look at how about a... let's go tier 4 jeweler. I love, and I will continue to encourage every single content creator or person who wants to make a YouTube video to do tier 4 jeweler, because it ain't going to take long. And it is a great way to benchmark how much damage your build has. As a point of reference for like me personally playing the game, I would say that like if I realistically want to take my build into Uber Aberoth, I really want to kill tier 4 Jura before she does her big channeled one shot. So basically within 8 to 10 seconds or so. That, frankly, maybe this is too try hard of me, but frankly, that's the kind of damage that I'm looking for when I think like, oh man, I could take this build to Uber Aberoth and I can continue working on it. So let's see how this cold centric health regen build with 4K life is doing here. I'll drink my coffee. Oh, they just tanked it. See, that's another great part of tier 4 Jura. It gives you like a big one shot that you can just stand there and tank. I love people getting smacked and not falling down. That is impactful to me. Let's take a look at their planner so I know what exactly they're working with here. So they have their Morditis' reach, cold damage, Lisa's health, frostbite on melee hit, completely insane. I tried playing this with Rive once upon a time, doubling the stats on your melee weapon. It was something. Okay, let's see. They're playing Singularity, which is interesting. They're not going crit at all. Let's see. Tempest Strike, just like generic Tempest Strike for damage. Swipe on cooldown. Swipe on cooldown in order to activate their bear ability. And their bear ability, the bear's roar grants you percentage of damage redirected to your minion, grants him DR as well. Okay, so like you're holding down those two buttons at the same time. And I imagine we have some Aftershock idols. Is that this? Pardon my throat. I apologize. Chance to create Aftershock, Earthquake Aftershock on melee hit up to 10 times for 2 seconds. That's, yeah, all right. And you know what's impactful about that? Well, I just keep coughing. What's impactful about that is the tier 4 damage here. Like, it is a tiny bit slow to get started. Like, the first 3 seconds of this fight don't look particularly impressive. But the Aftershocks, like, they are going to ramp up, and, like, their attack speed's ramping up with their Warcry as well. It ramps up quite quickly, so I'm happy to see that damage there. Let's keep flipping back to this. I'll mute myself successfully. Let's see what else is going on here. So they have the last bear set. Happy to see that. Is there anything else going on in here? The Shattered Lance, last bear, and frankly, just a bunch of unique items, which no shame to unique items. Unique items are great, but that's what they were working with here. Okay, so not incorporating as many sets as possible, but rather they had like one specific vision in mind and they worked toward that. So that is pretty neat. T7 cold melee damage. I'd be interested in like what happens if you put T7 crit on this and like instead of going Singularity, you go crit. I don't know. I got all kinds of questions and permutations that I'd be interested in playing with if I had this character loaded up. But I like what they were thinking about. Let's go to the third build. We're going to go look at a Meathead. I don't know what that means. We're going to go look at Blue Beyond's Meathead Lich. Okay, I'm listening. This build uses the last bear set. Yes, I know, but look, it does some cool things. Okay, so this person's on the same page that I am. We're playing with Lich. We're playing Lich, which is int stacking, but not building any int. Instead, we're using Cleaver Solution to turn all of our strength into intelligence. This kind of reminds me of what we saw maybe Frozen Sentinel do during the 1.2 patch, like playing a mage, building strength instead of intelligence, and then doing that along with the T-pose builds, what he was calling at the time. So I'm listening. We're also using the last bear set for health regen, endurance threshold from strength alongside Vessel of Strife. Okay, for ward, cool. And Wall of Nothing to turn endurance threshold into ward decay threshold for the cherry on top. That's great. I like that thinking. So normally, in order to have the 3-piece bonus from the bear, you'd have to have like all 3 exalted or rare pieces of gear, and you could not use a unique item as your chest piece. So using the Legends Entwined in order to wrap another unique item into your build and use the Wall of Nothing. I love Wall of Nothing, so I love seeing it pop up here as well. Vitality scaling from Bed of Souls, getting more health regeneration. Is this optimal? No. But there's a lot of synergy. I love it. You know why I love it? The build contest, the sweet portion. Remember the sweet portion and the damage portion of the build contest? The sweet portion of the build contest, I told you that in the archive section and on the YouTube, the playlist, you can see every single submission that people have done and voted on and talked about and discussed in these build contests. This is a wealth of knowledge for people who want to see what people were doing in the past what they were thinking about. And the next time a new item comes out in the future, you say, wait a minute, didn't somebody make a sweet build that had lots of crazy synergy going on, but it wasn't optimal? What were they doing? Maybe I can iterate on that and make it better for next time. So that is, oh, it's my dream. Let's go take a look at a YouTube video first, and then we will see what the, what is this? We will see what the planner looks like. Oh, did they just show like a 3-second clip of getting smacked? I love watching people get smacked. Is this normal? Yeah, it says Aberoth. Okay, so that was normal Aberoth's overhead slam. Yeah. Bonk. Tank it. Just tank it. Why would you not tank it? Is there audio for this? Is it Ziz talking in the background?
So it adds one
to every
set. Based off of your completed sets, you get all attributes, all resistance, you get +1 to all skills, you get increased attack and cast speed, but that's not per set. So it's a pretty good ring, especially if you can run multiple sets and get all the benefits from those. This can be pretty insane. We are using it for the last pair set, and I know Perry said, don't just use it for the strength to do more damage. I promise this is more interesting than that. So we are using the last pair set, which has like 2-piece set.
It's a 10-minute video. I'm not going to watch the entire thing. I'm going to turn all of you into content creators. For better or for worse. Some of you will love it. Some of you will hate it. Oh, we're using... Wait, this is not the Wall of Nothing. Didn't they say they're using Wall of Nothing? Wait a minute. This is super duper not Wall of Nothing. We're... Talk about it.
When I
get over here.
Better version of the build now, which is to run Core of the Mountain and Anchor of Oblivion. So this is not as cool. We're not doing all the ward stuff. We're not doing all the ward retention stuff. But I do have 9,600 armor. When I pop my Death Seal, that jumps up to 20k, right? And so it's a very powerful ability. It's a very powerful setup. I can tank the Aberoth Slam. But it's just not the cool stuff that I'm doing for this mission, you know? So this also exists. I would say that all in all, at the end of the day, while this is really cool to do, and it is a really cool way of playing the build, I do still think the intelligence version of the build is the superior way. You're just getting 20 free intelligence from running the Reaper tree, or sorry, the Lich tree anyways.
Gotcha. All right. It's cool. It's interesting. They like this stuff more than the ward stuff, and they think that probably just stacking intelligence is likely better overall. But this is definitely cool. It's very interesting. And I like the 30k armor just sitting there. And of course, we see the red ring like we talked about previously. So let's pop open their planner so we know what's going on here. And the main thing that I'm interested in the planner is which sets are they using. So they could have the endurance threshold per strength if they only had 2. So the 3-piece bonus gives them the +30 strength. So the only thing, think about it this way, Legends Entwined is giving them +1 skills, some all res, like +5 all res, plus maybe 4 or 5 to all attributes, and it is giving them 30 strength. It's a ring that has 35 strength and some all resistance on it. It's definitely still a real item, but not sexy. You know what I mean? It doesn't release a flow of dopamine into my brain, but it's cool, and they're tanky as hell, and I do like tanky. So that is the Meathead Lich. Let's take a look at the 4th build here. For the 4th build, we're going to scroll down to H2O. Shout out to H2O. He's been participating in these contests for a while. I think he's won a previous contest as well. So love to see repeat participants. This is the Shuriken Falconer. Let's take a look at the video first, and then we'll read a little bit, look at the planner.
Hey, H2O here for the Legends Entwined build contest. I decided to use the Corsair set bonus without using the shield, so we're going to convert all of the glancing blow chance to block chance, and with that we're going to use a 2-handed weapon, which we know wouldn't be possible with a shield, so we're going to convert all of that into block, and we're going to use Bow's Anarchy. It has inherent high chance to block, with large amount of block effectiveness, for just having a staff, and it also has some cool interactions here that basically make this build function. So we'll start with the defense. We are capped block without the shield, like I said, with kind of above average block effectiveness. So in dummy zone with 53. It's somewhere around 40%, 43% in empowered monos, with 73 baseline block chance. But with Dusk Shrouds, we get to 100% pretty easily. So we're always at capped block, which means that every single time we get hit, or at least 42% of the time, in the case of the weapon I have currently, we're going to throw all
42% of the time, it works every
and what this
time,
effectively
baby.
does is make us, immune to small hits, because every time, or half the time we get hit, we're going to be launching out shurikens, which is going to leech all of our health back thanks to finesse them in the top of falconer, because we are crit capped. So every time we get hit, we're going to shoot out shurikens, which will restore our health. So we're effectively, immortal to small hits. Large hits are still going to kill us. Yeah, we also get to utilize Titan Heart because we have a two-handed weapon, and we're gonna.
This is literally just standing around. They're not using any skills. Like, they're clicking potions, but it's pretty cool just walking around, right? So this is a 7-minute video. You can watch it on your own if you'd like to, but I like the looks of it so far. Let's take a look at the planner to see which sets they snuck into their build here. So again, this person was trying to do these Corsair bonus, which is converting glancing blow chance into block chance. So they have a 100% chance to block with about 40% less damage taken whenever they're blocking. So about 40% less damage taken overall. So pairing that with some Shattered World, some Nihilist. I actually really enjoy seeing a Falconer build that isn't strictly Falcon damage. Falconer, man. There's some really strong builds out there, aren't there? But having a Falconer build, like building around shurikens, yeah, I love the ingenuity of weaving these pieces of the build together. So that is the only set that I saw just with the helmet there. There's something that I want to call out at the very end of this so it doesn't get lost in the fray. I probably should have said this at the very beginning of the video, but hear me out right now. It turns out putting together a build that does not, I really need to iterate this at the end of the video as well. Putting together a build that uses set affixes is so much harder. It is actually hard. Not just harder, but actually hard. And much less trivial, and engages with the game, I think, in a much healthier way than the meta of using a 1 LP unique item and slamming a tier 7 affix onto it. Having a guaranteed tier 7 affix on any old unique item it raises the baseline for a tremendous number of builds, saying like, this is the bare minimum movement speed you should have, this is the bare minimum damage you should have, this is the bare minimum of life you can have, because at the very least you could always just get a Brewmaster belt with T7 life, you could always just get a Titan Heart with tier 7 health on it, you could always just get this, that, or the other thing. And attribute stacking builds as well, it's like, oh, you get just like, oh, get a 1 LP item, slap tier 7 strength on it, all of a sudden your strength is at 200 and whatever else that filters into. So what I mean to say is, if you participated in this contest, and if you didn't, just think about this. Making these items and having the set affixes on them on the right base type, making use of the new envies that were just changed and added into the game, having the right exalted affixes on them is so much less trivial and healthier, in my opinion, than just slapping a tier 7 affix onto a 1-uppy. I think there are some people out there who found this frustrating. And I get it. I understand. I also think it's just really, I keep saying the word healthy, really healthy. It slows down the game a bit. You might call it fair. If you played enough video games online, you know that fair is a thinly veiled word that kind of means bad. But like coming up with these builds and like coming up with the items for these builds, I like it. I'm going to iterate that again at the end as well. So let's move on to our next build before I get too philosophical on this. Let's go to build number 5. We're going to look at Patu. We have a lazy necromancer, ladies and gentlemen. I know you like lazy builds, so let's see what's going on. We'll click on this video first. They said offline because I don't have time to play. So I appreciate the honesty there. I assume that means that they were offline and they didn't have time to play. So, let's take a look at this. They call this a lazy necromancer. I don't know exactly what that means yet. I see a walking simulator. Being a fan of the new Reflect build, I do like walking simulators. I like necromancers that have 4K life. Can I, let's see. Is there a change? Oh, there's an Abroth in here as well. Okay, so this is normal Abroth. I think it's normal Abroth. Yeah, his name's Abroth. Okay, if his name's Abroth, then that's a normal one. How's that damage for normal Abroth? It's good. It's pretty good damage. There's an appropriate amount of damage against normal Abroth. Normal Abroth is tankier and takes longer to kill than tier 4 Drillroth. But like, listen, frankly, I'm gonna keep being a tryhard here. A good build that is finished and has support in the game should dumpster normal Abroth. If a build is done, if it's a good build, yeah, it should just dumpster him. So that's good. Yeah, let's dump it to this guy. Let's see. Following an extensive study on a panel of one contest, I conclude that y'all like 0-button builds. It's true. The 0-button builds have historically performed very well in these contests. So here's the 0-button lazy zoomancer. The idea is to stack intelligence, vitality, strength, resistances, all res to get the tankiness damage nodes on minions, and juice this undying minion army with the stacked Dreadshade buff converted to cold. So for the sets, they have Last Bear for defense and armor. The Sinathia Mace is minion all res, good. The Pebble set, which I think just got bug fixed today in a patch that went out, is plus cold damage to skeletons, good. And then Lich is all the damage, the Lich set, I believe. And Fairboar is a free sealed affix on their second ring. Cool. The damage comes from instacking. The most boring part of the setup is that you need to cast 7 to 8 Infernal Shades and then cast Dread Shade on your Wraith. You can switch Infernal Shade on your skill bar with AoD. You can also respec for one more but if you're lazy to do that. Best place to do that is the dummy offline area. Otherwise, you have to do it at the start of your first echo. Amazing. Love that. So we watched the video. Let's take a look at the planner as well and see what the lazy necromancer is all about. I'm curious about having a actual factual green item in a build as opposed to making this a, what do you call it? A set mace. It's a mace. Wild. Mace? What's a mace? So I guess it gives a lot of resistance, doesn't it? Oh, look at that. And a bunch of res for minions. Yeah, maybe it's actually factually good. Haven't seen Ravenous Void in a few minutes. What a wild item. It still exists. People use it. Look at that. What else do we have here? So we have the Last Bear sets. Last Bear. We have a Pebble set here. Love to see that. And then they snuck in the Fairboar. And just having that sealed affix on their ring there gives them +1 to all skills, plus all res, and plus attributes. So that's a pretty cool payoff there. I guess Legends Entwined is kind of like something that just pairs well with attribute stacking. So every time that I'm going to see this along with Red Ring, I'm just going to nod in approval, okay? So there's your lazy necromancer build. Cool. We're going to keep going. Build number 6 is a Time Rot build. Let's keep going. So this is a Time Rot Divine Flare Void Knight. For those of you who have not memed enough in your life, Divine Flare is the explosion part of Symbols of Hope in the past Sigils of Hope. So Mistia here, another shout out. Mistia has put up a bunch of YouTube videos in the past and has participated in this build contest, in my build contest in the past. So love to see repeat people. Let's take a look at the video first. I think Mistia is Chinese and all the clients in Chinese as well. So I'm pretty sure the first clip here, because I remember watching this, was at 1,000 corruption. But yeah, I can't read. So first things you'll notice, they've got a sword, they have vengeance down here, they have a shield, they're doing their Time Rot stuff. And take a look at their keyboard, or their keybinds, for their Symbols of Hope. It's just It's kind of zoomy. Like they click R every 4 seconds, 3 seconds. And if memory serves me right, which it might not because I'm old, I think Mystia was one of the early adopters or the early experimenting people. One of the very first people who was like working on the Time Rot Javelin build from last patch. I think Mystia just likes more multipliers. That seems like a weird thing to say. I think Mystia likes enormous damage. All right. I do like enormous damage as well. So let's pull this over to the side and read just a little bit, and then we'll take a look at the planner. So this is a Void Knight ailment dot build with Time Rot via Erasing Strike and Divine Flare. Maybe the Erasing Strike's a single target damage. I guess, you know what, can I scroll forward real quick? Is there a different Uber tier 4? Okay, let's see tier 4 Jewel Row real quick. I want to see what their single target damage looks like. All right, here we go. Boom, get him. Oh. Got it. Let's look at their Uber Abroth real quick. Let's see, this is right here. Where's the end of the fight? 247. Right about there. It's like a 2.5 minute, 3 minute. I do like damage. I like damage, and you might not know this about me. I also like Void Knights. Holy moly. Okay, Forgotten Knight's head gives lots of damage. Something neat that I believe we're going to see in another build as well is you could look at these set items and say, like, what are the cool, wonky things that I could do with set items? Or you could just look at the more multipliers. There's a gas bar set that gives more void damage, and then there's the Time Rot set, the Forgotten Knight set, that gives you more damage per Time Rot on the enemy. So you could just look at that and say, hey, maybe the Legends Entwined ring just lets me get more access to more multipliers for my void damage. Pair that with something that already has a whole bunch, like Time Rot, one big hit from Divine Flare. I like what they're doing here. So more gearing options, added benefits, damage, quality of life over season 2. Cool. So what's the ring do? I love this breakdown. The 3 set gives all attributes, all res. Swapping Forgotten Knight Amulet for Nihilus instead gives +5 to all skills, +6 with the relic, and Frenzy buff. Cool. One-handed plus shield gives us penetration and 36% more. That's for the Time Rot stacking. And the helmet and armor, you have 2 options here. If you do the gas bar set, you get 15% more, which is your boss damage. And the bear set would give you a bunch of strength and endurance per strength to make you even tankier. The Xeric set, interesting. Less poison, necrotic damage taken, move speed, leech rate. Oh yeah, love to see this. So why Symbols of Hope? The ring lets it hit level 26. Ooh, turn to a big AoE skill. Love that. Let's take a look at the, let's see, boss. Let's look at the boss, the big single target damage, and see what's going on here. So we have our Time Rot gloves, our Time Rot slow on hit with a void. Remember, slow on hit gives you more damage because of the Void Knight mastery. That's why they have the slow on hit here. We have Time Rot sealed tier 1 gas bar. Sure. Sealed tier 1 gas bar as well, just to get the more damage. On our belts, void damage, health, tier 6 recovery. Recovery being important because you want the symbols of hope to come off cooldown faster. Osirian for another big more damage multiplier. I guess not more, but or not big, but the shotgun hit. They're probably able to get 10 stacks of shock, right, for 10% more damage. I'd assume so for the very last line of text. Nihilus stuff. Is there anything else we want to see? I don't think so. Remember, the Time Rot stuff is mainly enabled by Rot Grip, which was added in, I think 1.2. I think season 2 is when Time Rot became a real thing. pretty neat. I would love to see some Time Rot exploration because it has more damage per melee throwing cast speed, whichever one's the lowest. So Frenzy is a really good way to like juice up your Time Rot damage. I'd love to see someone trying out Frenzy effect in order to juice all three of your melee throwing and cast speed at the same time. Maybe there's a like what's that new helmet called? I think it's called Butcher. Yeah, Butcher's Crown, like Frenzy effect on you. You have Frenzy. I would tune into a YouTube video of someone exploring Time Rot with the Butcher's Crown. Seems like a cool idea. So, in any case, that was build number 6. We're going to move on to build number 7. This is a melee Gathering Storm build. Literally after my own heart. Because I love melee Gathering Storm. It is not great. I wish it were better. Can I find it? This is Big Daddy Nanu. Big Daddy, if you're out there. Cold melee Gathering Storm. I've played melee Gathering Storm in the past, melee crit and melee ailment, and I found it frustrating that it was so much worse than Tornado. So let's see what's going on here. We'll watch the video first to give us some context, and then we'll read. Click, click, click. Plunk, plunk, plunk. I remember watching this video. Also, shout out to everybody in season 3 who played a cold damage build and got like the crispy crunchies. Almost. Okay, it's nowhere near as good as Herald of Ice from Path of Exile. But it reminds me of Herald of Ice from Path of Exile. I think every build in season 3 should be cold damage in some form or fashion. Give me the freezes, give me the shatter effect. Oh, it's so good. In any case, Gathering Storm is supposed to have a little circle around your character where it shows you like the AoE in which those bolts will come down around you. Why doesn't Cold Gathering Storm have that? Does Cold Gathering Storm have that? Where is it? Where is the particle effects? Let's fast forward. Looks like this is normal Aberoth. All right, show me the damage against normal Aberoth before he does his big slam. Punch him. Punk, 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 punk. It's chunky. All right. Punk, 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 punk. This is a crit build. I see armor shred being stacked up. I don't see frostbite stacks being particularly high. Tanking the triple slam from normal Aberoth. Good sign. It's a good sign. Cool. So like not crazy damage, but I get what's going on. It's a functional build. Looks strong. Looks fine. Let's read and learn a little bit more. They said Gathering Storm is well known for hitting like a wet noodle. Gathering Storm from Tornado is one of the best things to be doing in Last Epoch. Gathering Storm with a melee weapon. I agree with Big Daddy Nanu. The entire purpose of this build was to try and get the skill to deal some damage, and we kind of succeeded. They said the new ring lets us use a two-handed weapon with the Shattered Lance set, which lets us take the Seismic Crash node in Gathering Storm for flat damage per strength and convert it to scale cold damage with the Lance set. Okay. Here we stack strength for flat damage, health regen, a bunch of percent increased damage. Cool. I didn't have a lot of time to play, so I'm missing a few strength rolls and my relic and whatnot. And there was a very noticeable damage increase with every upgrade. I wish that every build felt like this. This kind of feels like a throwaway sentence, but this should be like a highlight right here. I love when builds feel noticeable, like the upgrade in damage or quality of life or defense feels noticeable every single time that I get an upgrade. I'll keep playing it to fill up basic LP slams. Okay, so for the cold, for the weapon and where the one of the weapon is absurd. Some Eternas would either be a 2 LP Alluvian, a Bane of Winter, Morditis' Reach. Cool. Let's take a look at their which one is this? They got two things here. Let's look at this. Click. This is what they were working with. Oh, okay. So did they actually find this thing? It's pretty big. T7, T6, T6. It seems fine. It's really not that outrageous, is it? Okay, so we are Last Bear. A lot of Last Bears because it's flexible, it's interesting, it allows you to interact with different pieces in the game. Like, we want more set items. EHG! Come on, man. Give me some more set items. This is another person who slapped a little sealed tier 1 affix onto the ring for the +1 from Therabor. That's good. And then we have the Shattered Lance down here. So it looks like they were taking this note up here and says, yeah, deals additional melee damage per strength while wielding a two-handed melee weapon. So normally you can't do this plus Shattered Lance, because Shattered Lance is a one-handed sword, but with Legends Entwined, you can now combine those two things. So I love seeing the moving pieces and having them come together. That's good. After that, we have build number 8. Build 8 is Decimate, Doom, Rune Master. Real quick, as an aside, once upon a time when I was new to playing Last Epoch 17 years ago, the very first thing that I knew about this game is, well, technically it was somebody telling me that third hit Rive was good or something, but the second thing that I knew about Last Epoch is that people have been trying since the dawn of time to make Decimate good. And each time in the past 17 years that I've heard someone work with Decimate, they've said, it's kind of bad. This video, which I'm going to load up right here, it showed me something that I forgot. It showed me that there are some skills in Last Epoch that genuinely look quite cool, and it is a crying shame that they're just not good. So Decimate is the thing that's going to look cool on the screen here in just a moment. Shout out to Anomaly, the VK skill. Anomaly is often used as a bubble that you put on your head, and it's really, really strong. Did you know that if you pretend like the bubble doesn't exist, you could actually use Anomaly as a DPS skill, as like a single target nuke? Anomaly looks sweet. It really, really does. It's criminal how bad that is compared to the bubble of Anomaly. Anywho, this person's using Rune Bolt, and look at that. They've got Void Swipe going on in front of them. Look how cool that is. I love it. It should be good. I don't know, man. I do know. I know exactly what I'm trying to say. Every time that I say I don't know, what I'm trying to say is I do know, but I want to be humble about it. It looks sweet. Why is it bad? Come on, EHG. What's going on? What's going on, dude? Do we have a boss kill in here? Tier 4 Jura. Clickety, clickety, clickety. Okay, so we know roughly what's going on in the build. Let's take a look. They said, does it work? And they say, I barely reached level 71 in time to get it all running. Low damage so far. Level 71 is pretty green. I wouldn't use this line of text to make any assumption about the build. But they have a level 71 or level 70 footage. And then this is the build that they were planning on putting together. So for this build contest, we say we had people going for, how long was it? It's like 5 days or so. Maybe we'll just do a full week for the next build contest, but 5 days was the amount of time we selected for this one. They're using Celestial Doom as well. So they are, it goes with Doom Pulse. Oh yeah, Doom Pulse. Is it Doom Pulse? Wait, that's the gas bar thing, isn't it? Wait, is that Decimate? I'm gonna be honest with you. I said that whole thing about it looking pretty. Is that Doom Pulse? Because I see the little purple waves going out too. The purple waves are Doom Pulse, right? And the big swipe in front of the character, like the huge 180 arc, that's Decimate, right? I'm gonna wait for Twitch chat to hook me up with the answer here. I've never used these items before. Okay, so let's take a look at their items here. So they are using the gas bar set here, and they're foregoing the weapon in favor of Celestial Doom. Twitch chat says I'm right. Love that. And then we have some generic unique items. Some boots that don't have a sealed affix on them. Wild, look at this. And then a Twisted Heart as well. Cool, all right. So I hear what you got. I'm picking up what you're putting down. We have 2 more builds to go before I show you the results of this contest. Build number 9. This comes from Cursed Boy, who's another content creator. Cursed Boy, shout out to him. I believe he's in Twitch chat as well. Before I announced this contest, before season 3 launched, he showed me a cook of something that he was interested in playing. And it was an avalanche build. He and I have both played a lot of avalanche in the past. I put out a 1-hour video just like chocked full. It was like a dissertation on avalanche. We both like avalanche a lot. So he showed me a build plan or a cook that he was working on, and I wanted to steal it and play it myself. For one reason or another, I played in hardcore. I decided to reroll into softcore, and then I had internet issues at the same time. So I didn't end up getting this build put together. But the important thing is that you still get to see this build. I think, and I'm biased, but the voting's already happened, so don't worry about me influencing the vote. I think this build's sweet. Can't wait to show it to you. Let's click on this real quick so you can get an idea of what Cursed Boy was working on here.
You've come to the channel, Cursed Boy here, and I want to show you soon a little bit of my build for Paris Condense for Legends Entwined Primordial Unique Ring. We are playing Summon, we are using Avalanche, and we have a very nice setup. We're utilizing 3 different sets. One of them is the Invoker set, the other one is the Halvars, and the last one, the Last Bear. And we are getting amazing synergies when it comes to the attunement and strength stacking on the build right now. We are extremely tanky. We are sitting at over 10,000 armor just without any Throne of Ambition stacks. And we also have lich, and we also scale our health regen through attunement and strength as well. So yeah, our damage very nice. We are using the trick that I was doing in 1.1 for the avalanche. I'm floating 1 point for the explosive impact. When we want to do a boss for single target, we are speccing into explosive impact, so it makes our boulders basically that's the reason we also utilizing the Spriggan form on our bar. Now, this is an interaction that I'm not really happy about utilizing, but you will see here, even at the 650 corruption or obis, I only use it twice, and that was before I got an upgrade on my scepter, and before I get even more damage from our gear. So, even at the higher amount of corruption, at some point, I'm only going to utilize 1 or 2 transformations into Spriggan, which is not bad at all in my opinion. That's completely fine. Our damage is going to be high enough.
So there's the build. We know what's going on here. We know that he's trying to be as ethical as possible and not using the form swap. Homie, just use the form swap. If you need a form swap to fix your mana, it's a-okay. So what I liked about this when I was showing it for the very first time is not only are they including various sets to get the bonuses from the Legends Entwined Ring, but they're also just like making really good use of all the different pieces. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of fluff in this build. So let's take a look at the end game goal for what this character is supposed to be. We have a, let's see, Scorn Scepter for the crits. All right, so last bear set on the gloves. We have the Invoker set here. That's good. Invoker set. The Halvar set here, which is plus 40 spell damage, and then another 100% chance to cast Avalanche. It's got a 1-second cooldown, but it's still just extra boulders to go with our Avalanche boulder build. One thing that I noticed about this build, which I think is really cool because it highlights a different thing that was changed in Season 3, is that this build doesn't have any cast speed on it. It doesn't put like cast speed on the weapon, doesn't have any cast speed on the sword. You can't get cast speed on swords. We're even not taking cast speed on the shaman nodes. So in Season 3, EHG decided to make it even easier to dual wield. So we're still taking bonus damage. It's been nerfed time after time, but we're still taking bonus damage, but, and this is a big but, we are finally getting an advantage of dual wielding. So we get a bonus 20% attack and cast speed while dual wielding. And on top of that, this build gets our 13% increased elemental cast speed from making use of the Invoker Reforge set. So just that little bit of cast speed, which is what, 33% increased attack or cast speed, it feels quite good along with Frenzy to get enough cast speed to spam our Avalanche to make the build feel good. So I was really surprised to see that just having the 20% extra from the dual wielding really ties the build together nicely. Makes it feel pretty good to play. Then we said Halvar sets, the +1 to everything there. And the last bear set, stacking strength. And then, of course, the payoff for stacking strength is health regen in Beastmaster. And I don't think there's anything here because we have attunement on a couple of different nodes as well. Attunement from Ironbark, stun avoidance per attunement here. I think those are the attunement payoffs. And then, of course, attunement gives flat mana, and attunement is the avalanche percent increased damage scaling. Cool. Very cool. Like that. Wish I could play it myself. The last build number 10, is very similar to another one that we've seen. We're going back to the world of Void Knight. My favorite mastery has been, will be. I just love purple shit. So this is a Void Cleave Time Rot build. Let's take a look what's going on here. Let's go video first, and then we'll click on more stuff. This is about 1,000 corruption. Oh, we're Void Cleave with the one-handed unique scepter, right? Makes it instant cast. Is this a build that bombs in an automatic fashion? I love builds that bomb in an automatic fashion. It's so good. Let's skip ahead to a boss fight. This is this an Uber Boober? Uber Duber? Is this lag? Come on. Come on. Come on. Reload. Not him. Okay, so here's normal Aberoth. This is so we get a sense of how much damage they're dealing. Normal Aberoth. Hit him! Get him, baby! Good damage. Tank it! Ugh, cowards. You get like you hit him for like 20% of their health, and then he's just like 99% damage reduction for a couple seconds while I phase shift. Like, come on, hit it. Boop. There's our damage reduction. Love damage reduction. You literally spend more time just watching him monologue than dealing damage to him. All right, so how much damage did this build deal? Sufficient. Love it. Let's read a little bit and then we'll look at the planner. I said this build is a complete walking simulator that kills almost everything it walks past, using anomaly to pop tanky rares and champs. The showcase gameplay is missing about 2,000 life. It's not as tanky as I wanted it to be. The idols are like 30 to 40% of the build's damage. That's cool. Uniques, Aberoth command to make the to abuse the massive moral multiplier on Void Cleave to apply big dot without having to stun lock myself each cast. Dark Strides to one shot with double cleave, cool. Atrophy, Viper Tail. Here are the sets in use. We have Gaspar plus Forgotten Knight, so double more void damage multipliers here. We have Fairbore, which does nothing for the build, but it does give us a sealed tier 1 affix on a ring, giving you +1 to skills, all attributes, all res. And then Shattered Lance, I assume for a similar purpose, because we're not doing health regen stuff. So the showcase gear is missing about 50% of the DPS, and about 30 to 40 effective HP. Cool. Love builds that have room to grow. Their build is, they said about 40% of their damage comes from their idols. That's wild. Yeah, they're dual wielding. They're dual wielding, get that bonus attack and cast speed too. Neat. So they're dual wielding the Aberoth's command. They're the Gaspar stuff here, Gaspar here. Tier 7s, 555s. Sealed affixes. Get some atrophy and dark. And this is just for the +1 charge for Void Cleave, sure. I wonder if you need the +1 charge for Void Cleave. I wonder. because like Time Rot only has 12 maximum stacks. So I guess are you hitting with 12 immediately? It doesn't matter. It does matter to them. It matters a lot to them. I don't know exactly how much Time Rot apply chance they have. Time Rot apply, Time Rot apply. They're probably not at 1200% chance to apply, right? Probably. Bonus attack and cast speed on a build that doesn't really cast anything. This build literally casts Anomaly. Don't talk to me. Okay, so those those are the builds. Let's take a look at the straw poll real quick. I'm going to show you the results of this build contest as well. We'll do this right like this. So for the build, actually, do I have this? I guess I can just show you this, right? Here is Sorry for the flashbang. This is the results of the votes for the contest here. So in our contest, for the sweetest build, sweet being like who is making the best use of stuff, who is doing something outside the box, who's connecting and reconnecting a lot of moving pieces. The rank 1 build, looks like by a fair margin, is H2O's Shuriken Falconer build. So congratulations, H2O. Love to see that. Remember, he was playing a build that converted all of his glancing blow into block chance, and he could just stand around and let small monsters hit him. And he was playing shurikens, and people love shurikens. That's great. The number 2 build was a lazy necro. People do indeed like lazy builds. Cool. So a lot of good moving pieces here, relevant defenses as well, stacking up a whole bunch of attributes to go along with the vitality, intelligence, and strength there. And then the third one, which I will say first in my heart, because I like Void Knights and I like enormous damage, is the Time Rot Divine Flare Void Knight. So happy to see all 3 of these here. For the damage portion of the contest, I guess I'll have to go back and review it myself to see which one's going to be like rank 2 and rank 3, and we'll just do that based on like boss kills or something. But not last. Let's go. Listen, the last place build, I like the last place build. Like, last place does not mean bad. It means like least sweet. This build was the Meathead Lich. This person said that they had like 2 versions of the build. They had the ward stacking, ward per second version. They had the core of the mountain version as well. And they said like, yeah, this is probably just worse overall than doing the intelligence stacking stuff in Lich and not doing the strength stuff at all. But I liked that they thought outside the box. I liked the ideas that they were pursuing. They had good ideas. That's good. This is exactly the kind of build that I'd love to see at the bottom here. Like, it's great. I got no complaints, man. It's a good, successful contest. So on my own time, I'll go through and review which of the builds got like first, second, and third in terms of damage. But I'm going to go ahead and say that the Time Rot Divine Flare probably has the highest damage here. But a couple of these looked like really good against Tier 4 Drura and against Uber Aberoth, and especially Aberoth. So I'll go through on my own time, see which ones are there. But these 3 will all be getting gift subs to the channel. They will be showcased in this video right here. And of course, they get bragging rights as well in the Discord. So H2O, Patu, and Mystia right there. One of the things that I said in the middle of today's video that I wanted to reiterate is just, I guess, stuff for EHG, right? In case they're watching these kinds of videos as well. We said that if set items are going to keep being more and more interesting, which they are because of set affixes and the Legends Reforged, or the Legends Entwined Unique Ring that just got added to the game, we'd love to have more sets. I think the most recent set added to the game is the Fairboar Dagger and the Fairboar Ring. I think more recent than that might be the Lich sets that came from the Tier 4 dungeon, or I guess from the dungeon, the Soulfire Bastion. We could use more sets. I've literally heard people clamor for sets that a marksman could use as well. So why not just give people options? You're making sets more interesting in terms of crafting, in terms of build design, but what about the items themselves? Good question. The other thing that we said in the middle of this video that I wanted to highlight at the end of the video as well was these items are non-trivial to craft. If you'll see somebody like, let's pull up any old planner and hope that they illustrate my point. The builds like this, let's say tier 2, tier 1, This is tier 1 here. This is tier 1. So these items, you can't just slap a tier 7 affix onto a unique item. The fact that we got guaranteed tier 7 slams, or rather guaranteed 1 LP slams added to the game in season 2 greatly changed the floor power level for what builds can achieve. When I say floor, I mean like your minimum build, even a bad build, is going to be at least this good, because they can always just slap tier 7 crit on something, slap tier 7 life, slap tier 7 movement speed on something, and it makes the baseline of those kinds of builds so easy to put together. Anything that stacks mana, just put tier 7 mana on everything. Anything that stacks intelligence or strength or dexterity, boom, slap that on all of your 1 LP unique items, and the baseline of your build is very, very high. Of course, you got to min-max it, but, you know. When it comes to set items, not everyone is sealing a tier 1. Some people, especially the people that were using the last bear set, really wanted to make use of the like tier 7 health regen per strength, or tier 7 endurance threshold per strength as well. So getting those, like, you put the set FX on, you interact with the crafting mechanisms in the game, you use the Havoc to get the tier 7 there. You could even, outside the world of Legends Entwined, you could then Rune of Evolution to hit it in tier 8 and seal it. Like, those crafts remind me of the crafts that I enjoyed from other games like Path of Exile. Path of Exile's got really good crafting. I assume, I haven't played it in a while, but they did back then. When it comes to unique items in Last Epoch, slapping a tier 7 affix on a unique item, like, it's really strong. But there's a different part of this game that is really good that kind of gets skipped over and kind of gets bypassed when you are just crafting with unique items all the time. Not necessarily better or worse. I mean, I got opinions on it, but not necessarily better or worse. There's crafting here that is good, is interesting, interacts with a lot of different moving pieces in the game, and it's just not as strong as a tier 7 slammed onto a unique item. So if EHG wants to float that idea around, it's on them, not on me. But that's my feedback for the hosting of these contests and seeing the kinds of discussions that go on with these contests. In any case, this was the Legends Entwined contest. If you like this, again, take a look at the archives, take a look at the YouTube playlist, which has everything and anything you'd ever want with regards to these submissions, the discussions for this kind of stuff. If you like this and you like these contests, please let me know ideas that you have for the future. And you know what? I read the comments. So if there's something that you like or did not like about these kinds of videos, let me know. We can make it better for next time. I'll see you later.